Okay. Um, During your time, I know it was only 11 months that Tupac was there, but during that time, did you ever witness any disagreements or arguments between himself and Suge? And the only reason I ask this is I remember a story you telling me that he had called because he wanted to take some dats out of the studio or something, and he was being told no, and he he got mad or something like that. Does that sound familiar?
Well, what happened on that situation was, as I just explained on the video earlier, we had this rule where that was in place after All Eyes on Me kind of got leaked on the streets, that you had a that the engineers had to get permission from security to put something on a DAT or a cassette, from reels to DAT or cassette. Now that was hard to tell Tupac no for anything. Suge would never tell Tupac no for anything. However, it was a rule. And I guess Suge didn't want to say anybody but Tupac or anybody but Snoop, which I pretty much probably knew that was the rule. Let them do what they want. Because what guys used to like to do is they used to like to go, and how they used to always get us and get music out of the studio is they would say, and that's why y'all heard it on a segment where Suge say people got searched going in and going out. It was mainly so they couldn't be taking cassettes out of the studio. And so what the rule was, but what they would go come and say is, especially Hammer. Hammer was the main one, where because they had these nice sound systems in their car. All Suge cars was freaked out with sound system, but some of the artists, like Hammer and Pac and Snoop and Daz and them, they had nice sound. So they used to say everything sound good on those big expensive ass speakers. So they would say they want to go and see how the mix or how it sounds on a speaker in a car. And so they can go in the parking lot and play it in their car. It's how they used to always want to get DATs or cassettes out of the studio. I don't remember if it was DATs or cassettes that Tupac got mad behind, but he just was like, fuck it. Tupac, y'all know Tupac. If y'all haven't heard, that motherfucker was bipolar. Tupac would go in one day, go out. He was a firecracker. That's the correct word. Tupac was a firecracker. And, one of the engineers probably said, you got to ask security. And that particular day, he probably didn't want to play the game. Hey, call Reg, still Reg, get permission from Suge for this to, for me to take this on. Because he was, Tupac was Tupac. And so my security wasn't smart enough just to probably say, go ahead, Pac, have it or whatever. Which they probably wouldn't have did because they know they would have probably had some repercussions if they did. So I don't know if it was taking too long, if Tupac was just ready to go, but that's what happened. There was an issue where Tupac started going off because I guess the procedure was taking too long. The security wasn't able to get a hold of me, or I wasn't able to get a hold of Suge. I forget how it went, but that situation happened where he acted a fool. I remember the other time that he acted a fool, and those are the only two times I remember him going crazy or going off regarding DATs or cassettes. And that was and then when we had the situation at the airport, and back then you used to just buy tickets, and anybody can walk in with that ticket at the airport. You didn't have all this, everybody go to the gate. You didn't have all this TS. You had TSA, but everybody could go to the gate and go up there. You didn't have to have a ticket to go up there. And so everybody came, and it was the guys from New York was with them, and that was when they were having that party in Vegas with strippers and all of that stuff that I have always told y'all about. And they were all going up to the gate. Tupac wanted his whole crew to fly with him. Back then, a Southwest Airlines flight to Vegas probably left out every 30 minutes, from LA to Vegas. But he wanted everybody on the same flight. We didn't have enough tickets for the same flight for the whole entourage that he had with him. He got mad. He probably really didn't want to go. Because if y'all know anything about Tupac, he really, really wanted the studio. And, he really wanted to work. He probably, Suge likes to party, have a good time. Show everybody a good time. So they was a little different in that aspect. Suge, Tupac went, and at the gate of the, when he found out everybody couldn't get on the same flight, got mad, threw the tickets on the ground, and said, "We going to the studio." I'm like, okay, whatever. They go, and they didn't end up going to the party, right? But in Vegas, because Suge had a bunch of strippers and everything at his house in Vegas. They go back to the studio. Tupac's mad. He's already pissed. So security goes and try to tell everybody they got to get searched. The rule was Tupac didn't have to get searched. I finally acquiesced to that. And Snoop and Suge. Probably David Kenner. Those about the only ones that didn't have to get searched. Everybody else came in the studio. Or Jimmy Iovine, if he came, he only probably came up there 2 or 3 times a year, if that. But anybody else would have to get searched. And Tupac was like, y'all come in here. Y'all ain't searching none of my people. We just left the airport. Ain't nobody got nothing on them. And that's when a big melee happened because my security was like, nah, you can go back there, Tupac. But these niggas is with you getting searched. And I remember something big about that happening. The only other time, stuff going back, but Suge and them kept it quiet when, of course, around August and stuff, and the alleged audit and stuff was going on, Suge and Pac was having some conversations, and there was something going on between them, about the signings, and Suge telling him, I remember sitting around him when he was saying, I'm going to give you a monthly of $75,000 a month to take care of Machiavelli Records. Y'all look at $75,000 as nothing now, but trust me, back in the 90s, $75,000 was a lot of money. And that Tupac was going to be getting $75,000 a month. And they were negotiating that contract and stuff like that. A little, stuff going on between them back then. And then the time when everybody keeps saying Tupac and Suge was arguing outside of the hotel because y'all listening to Michael Moore. It wasn't Tupac and Suge arguing. If you know how Tupac talked, he was just saying how he was pissed and all the things that he was going to do to Snoop for saying what he said on the radio and how mad he was about that situation. And so, other than that, those are the only times that I ever heard that him and Suge not acting like the best of friends. They were really, I heard an interview where I think Scarface was saying he didn't think they were that tight and stuff. I don't know if he's talking about pre-death row or what, but all I can say is I never saw that. I always say now, and if y'all know anything about Suge treats everybody cool. Everybody think they were Suge's best friend at one point in time in life. It's just when you fall out with him is when Suge usually go bad. But he treated everybody. Once you got to him and you can get to him, I can't think of anybody that never got over what they were asking for from Suge, especially in the 90s when he had it. And so I talk a lot of shit about Suge and all of that, but one thing I can say, when Suge had it, he was very generous with it. Peace. So we're going to come up with this program for you guys where we want all you up-and-coming rappers where y'all can pay $200 or a fee where y'all DM either me on IG or John, hopefully John, because he's going to be the one coordinating it, at bombfirsthotmail.com. So I'll say it again, bombfirsthotmail.com. This is a new program, y'all, where y'all can play y'all music. Y'all can come on. It can be a song with a sample in it. You DM John, he'll give you all the specifics. But you can come on, and we're going to give you a special day that we're going to play music on Bomb First, and you can rap a 2 to 3 minute song. Sing, rap, or whatever. The second part of the program is that you also can do. All of y'all always talking about, John always asking Reggie nice questions. All these soft questions. I got better questions for Reggie. So for a fee of $300, John may even let y'all do $250. I don't know. Y'all got to talk to John. But y'all DM him at bombfirst@hotmail.com. And for a nice fee, you can have 10 questions. Any questions you want. You're not going to be on camera. You're going to be like John. I may not even be on camera, depending on the date that we do it, how soon you want to do it. But we're going to give you the opportunity to ask 10 questions. We're going to put up the segments right after we do it. And you ask me those 10 questions, and I'll answer those 10 questions. Any topic. You can call me a fat pig. If that's how you want to spend your $300 for 10 questions, you can just call and say 10 crazy things to me. Ask me 10 crazy things. As long as it's within the YouTube and John's guidelines, we good. So, new program, me and John trying to give to the Bomb First family community or our haters, however you want to be.